All right, welcome back to the Rizz Show. And we have a very special guest here, making a return appearance, Mr. Joey Coco Diaz.
Hey! What's up, guys?
Well, you are a breath of fresh air, sir.
So are you, my friend.
Thank you.
What's going on,
nice
brother?
Nice to see you. It's been what, maybe a year or two since you've been here?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Welcome back to St. Louis.
Thank you for having me.
Very
Great
hot
place.
summer St. Louis Friday.
Nice, humid, the sun's out.
Nice. You know, these are indoor days for us, certainly. Yes. We're so soft. And God bless, the guys that are up there on the roofs doing the shingling. God bless the guys that are working construction, laying down that hot tar.
Yeah, the road guys
on the roads.
Yeah.
I'm way too soft for that.
I was one of those guys for
Were you
a
one of
long
those guys?
time. Yeah, I roofed.
Oh, you were a roofer?
6 years. I started as a laborer. Then I became an estimator. And then I would estimate during the week, and on the weekends hustle my own roofs. So I would get a residential roof that got hail done, and I'd
so you'd be up
tear
there
it down, waterproof it, put it back up in 2 days. I was going 7 days a week.
and you'd be up there summer afternoons.
Oh, nightmare. But in Colorado, no humidity.
Well,
No humidity.
that does make a difference.
Yeah, that
Oh,
does.
my
that
God,
makes a
yeah,
big
it does.
And I
difference.
think every single roofing guy that worked for a roofing company always did side work on the weekends,
Yeah,
right?
on
That's
the
how you
weekends,
really
just
make your money.
7 days a week, man.
Well, we went to Phoenix a couple years ago for a wedding in the middle of August, and it was, I think, 110 degrees out. And you know what it felt like? Because there's no humidity there. It felt like 110 degrees.
I was in Vegas last week, and it was 118.
Ooh.
And one morning I go, let me go down and take a stroll and smoke a number down Las Vegas Boulevard solo, like a la Johnny Depp. You know what I'm saying? I went out. I couldn't even finish the number. I had to throw it away and run back to the hotel. There's no blockage. What is that? There's no coverage. There's no, you bump into a building.
Oh, yeah. It's just hot.
It's just hot.
It's
The
just
sun-
straight hot.
The best description is you walk outside and it's like someone's got a hairdryer in your face.
Yeah, it was just hot. There was no blocking.
Yeah,
there was
the
no
only
buildings.
shade is next to the craps
no
table.
shade. Yeah, there's no shade.
Hey, by the way, in Vegas now, the number's illegal.
Numbers illegal.
Yeah.
It's
But
now
they tax you. See, they bang you. So if you people from St. Louis, you go buy an 8 that costs $90, but it's $62 in taxes.
But at
You
the same
follow
time,
me?
at the same time, though, I mean, it's legal.
You have to see the recreation stores.
I heard there were lines. I guess
Lines out there. And then you go to Denver, same thing. People fly to Denver. They don't care about the mountains no more or skiing or the Broncos. They
Now it's
just go
about
to get
smoking weed.
Smoking weed. They go
Legally.
into those things and they come out like kids. It's like us being 7 and your parents giving you a yardstick and going,
it just
go
to
in a
me-
candy store and go
to
crazy.
me seems so unnatural. I don't know. I've never been to Denver. I've never been to Colorado to smoke, weed out there legal. I haven't been to Vegas, since they've legalized it. I don't know. I just, you know what? I equate it to this. We had a party at my house a couple years ago, and it was all adults there. We're all drinking, and the cops came. Okay, I'm an adult. It was my house, and I felt like the cops came in the backyard, and I should have thrown the keg in the woods and ran away. Like that's the way I felt, because it was just, oh my God, the cops are raiding. I felt like an underage kid. Like I should throw the booze away.
Yeah, like your parents are out of town for the weekend, and the cops are busting your house party.
I'm perfectly within my rights to drink in my backyard. I don't know. It just seemed weird going to a store and buying a joint or buying weed.
Yeah.
When I first heard of it, I'm like, I'm not in. That's part of the whole weed experience.
Sure.
Just to go to your friend's house, cop a bag,
Right.
drive home in the right-hand lane doing 35. You know what I'm saying? You don't run no lights. You stop at all stop
Use your
signs.
blinkers.
You can't wait to get home and spark. You can't wait. That's part of it. And then my friends were like, oh, you got to go. There's lollipops. I'm not going in there. I was hard-headed. And then I just said, let me go give it a shot. Take a chance. Columbus did.
And
I went down
and you
there.
haven't been back.
And you sit there like a child, and you go, you think back when you were 12 or 13, the first time you smoked pot or giggled or whatever, and you go, did I ever think this would be possible? That's the most surreal part of it, guys. Is that it's on a list of my to-dos. I have to go to the bank, I have to go to the car wash, I have to go to CVS, I have to go to the doctor, and I have to stop at the weed store.
That's
And
part of your routine.
You pull
So
in,
weird.
you go in, you give them your license. They look at it. They talk to you for a few minutes. You go in, you look at the one or two girls. You have a relationship with them because some people like skinny. Oh, that stuff will kill you, and then you smoke it and nothing happens.
Right.
Plus, you got those California kale lovers. They all want to be cool. I love strawberry cough. In L.A., the only people that they get body highs. I've never been a body high. I've always seen the devil when I smoke pot. That's the goal of smoking pot, is seeing the devil, all right?
I don't know. What's a body high?
Well, I don't know. They invented it. They're little Gentiles. You know how they are. They're out there like, I got a body high.
I don't know
the
what that
best
is.
is somebody told me they microdosed last week. I microdosed. What are you talking about?
That?
They're just retarded. They're just people that have no clue about nothing that want to invent stuff. It's like when they put a filter on a joint. When you cut a piece of ashtray, you cut a piece of a matchbook and roll it up and put it in a joint. What's the purpose of that? To be cool. Yeah. For 80 years, we just rolled
and microdose is just a little bit of smoking.
Dog, it's just kids. It's just kid stuff. It's like when they show up with the, now I had a friend come to my house one day. You want to get high? Yeah, let's get high. Watching TV. All of a sudden, next thing you know, a stone comes out, a blowtorch. Whoa, what are you doing? Like we're doing dabs. We're not doing dabs.
Yeah.
I just want to smoke pot. That's it. I'm 13. I got the hat with the propeller. I don't even need the little thing on your finger. I got the hat with the propeller. Either you show up at my house with a bong or rolling papers. They got blowtorches. People show up with blowtorches and they put a liquid on the rock and they dab.
I don't know what that is.
I'm too old.
Hey, let's just pack a bowl. That's it.
Let's just pack a bowl, see the devil, put on the Defiant ones.
And I gotta ask you. Have you seen the Defiant ones?
Tremendous.
I watched that this week. I watched all four.
All four of them. Tremendous.
Oh, it's terrific. I was telling these guys about it.
What a lesson if you love music and stuff.
Absolutely.
What a history lesson.
It's about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre and how they got together and their careers.
Springsteen, Patti Smythe.
Yeah.
What's his name? And I went to that
Stevie
Tom
Nicks
Petty tour.
Tom Petty.
Stevie Nicks, 83. I went to that little tour.
And Jimmy Iovine saying he was dating Stevie Nicks at the time and recording Tom Petty, I guess, Damn the Torpedoes, that record. And he didn't want Tom Petty to know that he was dating Stevie Nicks at the time. So she would hide in his basement when Tom Petty came over his house.
Wow. That is baller status when you're recording Tom Petty and you got Stevie Nicks waiting for you in your basement.
Yeah, hiding.
That's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Because he said that he didn't want Tom Petty to think he was distracted by the woman. That all his focus was on his recording.
Stevie Nicks, get in the basement. All right.
Fascinating.
Really fascinating.
What are you doing tonight? I got Stevie Nicks waiting in my basement, so I'm covered.
Joey Coco Diaz is here. He is at Helium Comedy Club. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. And speaking of weed and stuff like that, I got to ask you about this. And your podcast, what you do every week?
Twice a week, yes.
Twice a week, okay. So one of our listeners asked about having Pauly Shore on your podcast.
Hysterical.
Okay, and I guess you when you're on your podcast, you eat edibles?
Yes.
So what happened with Pauly Shore?
We have these things they call stars of death. All right?
Now,
it's 125 milligrams.
If you like, hey, Rizz, take the star of death, I'm going to say no.
No, I'm going to tell you.
Death is in the name.
I'm going to tell you to eat half of it.
Okay.
If you say to me, Joey, I'm going to tell you the truth, eat half of it.
Okay.
Some people go over, like when they, and a lot of people come on the podcast, they don't touch nothing in that office. Because there's so much stuff in that office. You just never know what you're touching. It could be mDNA. There's some liquid acid. We got everything in that office. Sugar cubes.
Wow, man.
What's the address?
This is. I had this little office that I rented years ago. And
sounds like an opium den.
And it is. It's the Voodoo Lounge, the original. When I go to different towns, like I got these little chemists. There's this guy in Santa Barbara gives me liquid acid, and I bought the sugar cubes and everything. I got a box of sugar cubes at the office.
What a life this guy leads. I go home and I stare at the wall. Honestly, that's
listen,
what I do.
man. I got a 4-year-old. I'm bored to pieces also. So from time to time, you got to break the monotony. So we go deep. I got Pink Floyd acid. Somebody gave me the acid Sid Barrett took when he tapped out of Pink Floyd.
Oh, good. That's what I want.
I got like 6 hits
acid
of
to
that
make me go crazy. That's good.
But we've got these stars of death. So I tell people, be careful with these things because they hit everybody a lot differently.
Yeah, but you always have somebody that's like, oh, I can take it. Give me a galaxy.
There's always somebody like Sarah Tiana a couple weeks ago ate one, and I saw her go out in front of my eyes.
Oh, I saw. Last time I was in Vegas, we got edibles. I don't like the edible stuff. And just the fear of the unknown.
Oh, you don't know where you're going with it.
And so this girl we were at a lounge in Vegas, and this girl ate a gummy bear. The whole thing. And I watched her I watched the progression. This girl turned absolutely white, and she was done.
Done. You see
Done.
him right in
I
front.
watched
20
it.
minutes. I'm talking to you the way I'm talking to you, and I'm looking at you from time to time, and I could see you twitching your eyes. I could see the color drop out of your face.
That's what it was. Her lips turned white.
The lips, your color drops out of your face, and
Bye-bye.
then,
Night-night.
And then I see your eyes do this, cross, or go up. With Sarah, I saw her eyes go up, and I go, Sarah, I picked her up, and I put her on the couch. With Owen Benjamin, he just said, I got to go for a walk. And he went for a walk and never came back.
I'm still looking for him.
Have you checked on him?
And 2 weeks later, he moved to Vermont. Like, that straightened him out. We had a girl, Ada Rodriguez, cool as hell. Really sweet girl, one last comic standing or something. And the bag of stars was sitting on the table, and she kept looking at us, talking to us.
The star of death, okay.
And all of a sudden, I don't know what possessed this poor girl to reach over. This girl doesn't even get high. She took the star, and she just ate it. She goes, you guys are having such a good time.
Oh, no. You're like,
I'm
that's a big mistake.
And I saw her black out right in
My
front of
God.
me.
Why would you want to do this stuff? This sounds like a terrible time.
While the microphone's on.
She got pale, and she was okay, but I saw her eyes like I had smacked her. It looked like I had smacked her, and her eyes were jiggling the head. The next day, she called me. She had to go to the hospital.
Oh, my God, this sounds like a terrible time.
Her son had to take her to the hospital because your heartbeat goes. Like, you don't know what's going to happen to you. That's why I tell people, eat a little piece and see where it goes. It's like when you have an 8-ball. You don't do the whole thing.
Sure.
You do a couple bumps and see where you land. The same thing with those stars of death.
Stars of death. No thanks, guys. You know what I don't want for my birthday? The star of death, okay?
Take a little piece.
Cancel that order, Joe.
My brother came to the show last night. I told him, don't mess around with these. I gave him like 3 of them. He says he's going to Mexico. I go, just eat little pieces of it. When I got off stage last night, he was just staring at me. And I go, what's up? And he's like, I'm not driving home. I go, all right, no worries. So my sister-in-law had to drive home.
Wow.
Yeah, they're tremendous. I eat them on planes. I get on the plane.
All right, so Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore is on your podcast.
Pauly Shore's on the podcast Sunday night, the Lord's Day.
Uh-huh.
Talking all kinds of nonsense. We're doing the Periscope first. And I have a blue star. They're 125.
So this is a different kind of star of death.
He goes, what is this thing, bro? And all this. and he eats half of it. And we're sitting there. We start the podcast. And next thing you know, I'm looking at him. I could see him losing color.
Oh, no.
He kept telling me, is it me or is it hot in here? Once they tell you it's hot in here, that's it.
That's step one.
That's a different avenue. There's different avenues. There's the color in the face or it's getting hot in here. Once they start doing this, because everything in my house is in penguin weather. I have everything down to 50.
Right.
I'm
like
a
a meat locker.
Yeah, everything's 50.
Uh-huh.
A couple of weeks ago, the babysitter said she left. She goes, I don't know how you live in this house. And we got back with my wife. She said, I don't know how you live in this house. Everything. For you in my office to start saying, especially at night, that you're getting hot, doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. Does not happen. I got that thing down to 50. So he was like, it's getting hot in here. And then I kept asking him questions. He didn't know the answers. And I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. And I could see it, and he finally.
And you must love it.
No. Sometimes I love it. Depends where it takes them.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes it's like if you give me something, I ruin your show.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a 50-50 chance. But let me tell you something. People love when you ruin a show.
Yeah.
People love, if I came in here right now and fell asleep because I ate 50 Oxycontins.
Oh, I would love it.
Yeah,
I would love it.
It's crazy. People PO'd at me because I didn't release the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what one of our listeners, who's a huge fan of yours, said you kind of cut the feed.
I cut the feed.
You cut the Periscope feed. And
no, I left the Periscope. I didn't release the YouTube feed.
Yeah, you've never released the podcast.
You know what, man? He was in bad shape.
The Star of Death claims another victim.
I might release it for Christmas.
Yeah.
He was in bad shape, but maybe for Christmas, guys.
Bonus content.
For Jesus' birthday, you guys get it.
By that time, you'll forget. Everybody will forget, and they'll be out of people's minds.
Have you seen anybody that you've done this stuff with? Wow, this guy is an expert. Like, this guy could eat as many edibles and smoke as much of this crazy stuff and be fine. Like, who is your, Jedi? Like, the Jedi.
Like they eat it and it doesn't do anything to them.
Me.
You?
Yeah, you do sound. You sound like a shaman.
Me.
Like you are the shaman. You take people through the scenarios. You just partake in as well.
Tolerance is high.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I mean.
My
Like,
tolerance is really high.
Who's got a higher tolerance than you?
Not too many people. Not too many
Like,
people.
who could keep up with you?
Not too many people.
So you could do
Joe Rogan?
No, not even in the ballpark.
Wow, that's
No.
impressive.
He just started smoking 10 years ago.
That's 10 years ago. 10 years of experience is pretty.
He just started smoking 10 years ago. So, no.
You like 11 years ago, right?
No, I started when I was 12. I'm not a big drinker. When in high school, when people were like drinking, I wasn't a big drinker.
But you were a hardcore drug user.
I liked weed. I always liked weed because I could fall asleep at night.
Did you ever do the other stuff?
Not till I got older. But first I was a jock, so I kept it hidden. I didn't want nobody to find out about my marijuana use. It wasn't in the daytime. It wasn't rampant. It was at night. When we played basketball, I'd smoke pot at night. I always liked marijuana to sleep since I was a kid.
Just put you out.
Just put me out.
Put you out.
And then as I got older, I really liked it. Then I started messing around with other stuff. But weed was still king, man. Weed was always the one you could smoke a number and put an iPod on and go for a walk.
So even though you
sun.
kicked the other stuff,
Yeah,
like an addiction specialist would say, all right, you kicked the other stuff, so you shouldn't do this stuff.
Yeah, you got to do something.
Are you gonna do something?
You got to do something because then you're listen. In L.A. where I live, for example, you have all these people that are clean and sober. They're not really clean and sober. They're not really clean and sober because when you get into that program, there's always some guy that hugs you and says, have you gone to see Dr. Joel yet? Oh, Dr. Joel is fantastic. He's amazing. Dr. Joel's who puts you on bipolar medication and all that stuff, even though you don't have problems. So you're still getting high. They're still giving you some type of pills. They're giving you something to take the edge off.
Well, so we did a story earlier today about that Suboxone stuff to get you off heroin, which is also highly addictive. So you go from one highly addictive substance to another one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, methadone. Anybody that knows anything about methadone is the worst thing for you because it softens your bones. So when you're doing heroin and let's say you fall over and break your ankle, it'll take you 8 months to heal that ankle instead of 3 months.
Wow.
You know, methadone isn't exactly the answer to the problem either. You know, with me, what worked for me is you got to do something. You ever meet somebody that don't do nothing?
Yeah.
You meet somebody, they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing.
Like
they don't date. They don't do drugs. They don't play checkers. They don't do nothing. How long do you like those people for? You don't. I like people with a little bit of edge to them. They got to do something. If you tell me I don't like alcoholics, but I love heroin, I'm in. If you tell me you suck toes for breakfast, I'm in. You got to do something. So when I made my decisions to get off the drugs and the nonsense, I said there's got to be something that'll keep me close to home without hurting nobody's feelings, including myself. What can I do that I could still function? I mean, I could function under anything.
Yeah.
I could snort till 6 and get up and do a movie. All those years I was doing movies, I was snorting till 6.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You're out there doing your thing. What can I do that I'm safe? Reefer.
So when you were in the longest yard.
Oh, yeah. The first 6 weeks in Santa Fe, I didn't do anything. I was like a saint because everybody was watching.
And then?
Once we went back to L.A., the party was on.
Oh, boy.
I had to be there at 4:45 a day. My last line was 4:42. You know, my last line would be at 4:42. I had to report at 4:45 to put the shoulder pads on, and the tattoos and all that stuff. I was out of my mind.
Wow.
You know, that's why I was 400 pounds. You're snorting and eating.
And you were able to function, huh?
I was a functioning addict.
Wow.
Nobody really knew. I mean, there's 1,000. I mean, people knew. But I could snort an 8-ball and be in the
As long as you showed up to work, right?
Tip-top Magoo. That's the price of getting high. You got to be tip-top Magoo.
This guy, he is Yoda.
No, a lot of people do that. A lot of people. Listen.
You're just open about it.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I worked for the CIE work-study program. And it was 7:30 in the morning to 1, and then you got a job. I went a little further. A friend of mine, hired me to bartend twice a week. And I would work one night during the week, and I would work one morning. And I'll never forget this. I was 18, and on Tuesdays, I had to open the bar. And he told me when I took the job, he goes, if you take this job, I want you to know something. You cannot be late. So if you take this 7 o'clock shift, you cannot be late. And you know us. We'll never be late. I'm late the first day. I get there at 7 instead of a quarter to 7 to open up. I understood what he said. Why? Because at 7 a.m., this was the last bar before you got on the bus to New York City. This was the last bar. Like as you walked, there was a bar and then there was a mail post office, and you waited online there. And you would see 50 people would come into that bar. And
Before they went to work.
Before they went to work at 6:45 and get 3 whiskeys with a beer back. Wow. I didn't even know what a beer back was. That expression, like give me this with an orange juice back.
Is that just a chaser?
A chaser, yeah.
Okay.
But these guys would come in like with suits on, tremendous suits at 7 o'clock with their hands shaking. I was 18.
Like the DTs?
The DTs, and they would be like, let me get one, 2, let me get another one. Before the bus comes, let me get a quick Heineken, and they do the Heineken in 2 shots, and they give me like a $3 tip. And then the rest of the morning would be dead till 11 o'clock.
God,
I would just sit there.
I never want to be dependent on something like that.
I would make $75 in 20 minutes from 5 to 7. It just seems
very sad.
And I learned that people need something to get them together. When I came from Cuba, every television show, if you watch any show from the 70s, when you walk into somebody's office, they got bottles.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
no label on them. And what did they do? They didn't ask you.
Yeah,
would
pour
you
you
like
a drink.
a whiskey? Would you like to party out tonight? No. They just poured you a drink and handed it to you. You didn't say, oh, is it scotch? I'm gluten-free. You know what I'm saying? Is it, oh, no, I can't drink that. I'm on medication. You just banged that out. You just banged that out. You didn't ask what it was. If it's vodka, is it low-cal?
You know how you find out? You start drinking it, right?
Drink it. All right, Joey Coco Diaz is here. You can hang out for a little while, right?
Yeah, I'm no
All right, we got to take a quick break. Crap on Celebrities next. All right, welcome back. Mr. Joey Coco Diaz is here at Helium Comedy Club. Couple shows tonight, couple shows tomorrow. I love your Twitter handle, @MadFlavor.
Always.
You're a good follow, my friend. Time to find out what's going on in the world of music and entertainment with your Crap on Celebrities.
It's brought to you by Lena's Pizza, St. Louis's only frozen pizza made with 100% real Provel cheese. The whole gang is getting back together. Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese.
For?
The Irishman. That's about Frank Sheeran, the guy who allegedly killed Jimmy Hoffa. He's the guy that on his deathbed said, I killed Jimmy Hoffa.
That's right. They still haven't found the body, though.
2003, I think. Yeah, he failed to mention what he did with the body, as he said, I killed the guy.
Yeah, all right, where is he?
Don't know. Harvey Keitel may join the film as well. It's based on the book called I Heard You Paint Houses, and filming's supposed to start in New York next month.
You think this is going to work, Joey?
I don't know. It's too late in the game now. They just did this Irishman 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
Same story?
I think so. They're going to remake it already, so.
Huh.
Who knows?
Where is Jimmy Hoffa buried? Do you have any info?
Japan.
Japan?
Yeah, he got shipped in a car to Japan.
I thought he was under what, the 10-yard line at Giant Stadium?
Giant Stadium. Hey. He's in the house in Detroit.
Guess who just got added to that film?
Who?
Ray Romano.
Oh, I'm Ray Romano.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Ray Romano. Is he here?
It sounded exactly like him.
Yeah, I'm Ray. So you think he was shipped to Japan, or do you know he was shipped to Japan?
They put him in a car, flattened him, and shipped him to Japan.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Somebody with a car flattening business.
Listen, like my father-in-law owns a crusher.
Yes, he does.
He's got a salvage yard in Englishtown, New Jersey.
That's a great place.
And
they used to have the Englishtown funny cars, like the races.
They still got them.
I used to go there, and when I was a kid, they had a place that used to make Converse sneakers in Englishtown, close to Englishtown. So the mistakes, this is way before Ross and all these stores came along, they would throw away the mistakes in those days.
Oh, and then
so on Saturdays, we would go to Englishtown, New Jersey, do that stuff, and then go to the dumpster.
And go look for the mistakes.
And look for the mistakes.
Like any kind of imperfection, they would just throw out the
Throw them out. We'd get 20 pairs of sneakers. We'd sell them for $32.
Right.
Just the stitching was wrong.
Right.
You just had to find the missing foot.
Yeah.
You had to find the other side of that 8.5. Or, if it didn't matter, sometimes you went to school with a 9 and an 8.
Yeah, my father-in-law
still got there, right?
As long as I paid $10 for them, that's all.
My father-in-law's place is right across the street from
the
old Englishtown Raceway.
Great place.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Good time. And he's got a crusher, so and he made sure I knew that he had a crusher before I packed up and moved to Missouri with his nice daughter.
This will be here just in case,
Yes.
right? Our friend
Never
DMX. Our friend DMX is having some problems with the authorities once again. This time it's not the cops as much as it is the IRS.
Oh, boy.
They have slapped him with 14 counts of tax evasion. He's already surrendered to the law enforcement. U.S. Attorney's Office in New York says that he has concealed his income for several years, is now about $1.7 million in the red with the IRS.
How does that happen?
I just never understand this. I don't unless somebody's screwing you, I get that, like an accountant or something. But
how you make so much money and that you just lose track of everything, and you don't pay your don't you realize you have to sign stuff every year? Like, hey, it's around April,
right?
Aren't I supposed to be signing something?
Yeah.
I think he was efforting this. It wasn't like somebody pulled the wool over his eyes. I think he was doing this on purpose. According to the indictment, he had cash just pouring in what I guess the early 2000s, right, is when he was really big, right?
Yeah, like late 90s.
Late
98
90s?
is when he pretty much kind of blew up.
He avoided using personal bank accounts. He used accounts of surrogates, in other words, just random people, as opposed to having a bank account in his own name, including business managers. He lived mostly on cash. This is somebody who's doing this on purpose. This isn't somebody who has a money manager that screwed them over. And I'm sure you probably know a lot of people that happened to in what you're doing. According to the documents, DMX appeared on couples therapy. He was supposed to be paid $125,000. But when he got his initial check, the proper taxes had been withheld. Mm-hmm. He didn't like that. He goes back to them and demands a check for the full amount.
Like, I'll take care of the taxes.
Yeah, which they gave him, and he, of course, did not do the taxes. Prosecutors say he listed his income in 2011 and 2012 as unknown.
The IRS loves that.
Yeah,
question mark.
When he really made $353,000 the one year and $542,000 the next year. In 2013, he finally did do an income. $10,000 is what he wrote down. Little bit off. Actually, according to the feds, he actually made $250,000 that year. If he's indicted on everything or convicted on everything, he's looking at 44 years in jail.
Don't forget, guys, this is the same person who drove a car through an airport gate onto the runway, and then when cops approached him, he said, "Hey, guys, it's cool. I'm a federal agent." And they're like, "No, you're not. You're DMX."
Well, he was on his way to a Mensa meeting. Had to get there quick. Joey's shaking his head like, hey, what an idiot.
You don't understand it.
It's mind-boggling.
It
how
really is
could be
mind-boggling.
So dumb.
And sometimes, like, he knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's a mistake.
Yes,
Sometimes people really don't know. Like, let's say you work for the radio station, right? You work for the radio station.
Which I do, yes.
Which you guys do. And on Saturdays, I call you up and go, "Hey, man, what are you doing on Saturdays? Come on down to the car dealership." And you come down to the car dealership and whatever, and let's say the radio station charges me a nickel for you guys to come down and jump up and down and give away balloons on Saturdays.
Yeah.
But I give you like an extra $300 cash every week because you mentioned it 10 times. I won't say it to you that year, but 2 years from now, I'll 1099 you.
Yeah,
and you don't know what's going on.
And you're done.
Yeah.
See, DMX did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Somebody like Wesley Snipes, I just think was so dumb and blind to it that he didn't realize this was happening to him,
No, Wesley
and then
Snipes
got hit with it.
Was the guy that said, "I don't have to pay my taxes."
Okay, well that's a different story.
He said, "I don't have to pay my taxes."
I think you're right. There's some athletes and stuff like that get caught up in the whole thing where they see money and they go, "I got a guy that takes care of that." And their guy that takes care of that is also an idiot.
This is just stupidity.
Look, go on an actor's IMDb page sometimes and look at all the list of people he has to pay. Every time you see those people, it's 10%, maybe except for the attorney, which is 5%. Mm-hmm. When you move to LA and all those places, they feed you this line of stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. Like you said it before. You looked at me kind of weird. Personal managers, money managers.
Mm-hmm. Snakes.
I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever come to me.
Snakes.
Don't come to me in 10 years and tell me you robbed $200,000 from me.
Don't
come to me.
I had a business manager.
Don't come to me with that story because I'm gonna laugh in your face.
Well, I did have a business manager that I found out stole money from us.
Yeah.
on this show.
Yeah.
Next to him, he goes, so-and-so business manager for Alanis Morissette's in jail. And I went, huh? What's his name? Because I think that's my business manager. Found out he was in jail for robbing from her, which
He did porn for a little while.
Yeah.
No, I still do. Don't say little
Porn
while.
a little while.
You know, it's crazy. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine, man.
Whose birthday is it?
We've got a couple birthdays. Conor McGregor, 29. Taylor
Who you
Kinney.
got in the fight, Joey? Conor McGregor?
Nobody.
Mayweather?
Nobody.
Everybody loses?
Everybody loses.
I think it's going to be one of those double punch, double down.
Taylor Kinney, who almost married Lady Gaga, he is 35. Comedian Gabriel Iglesias is 40. Corey Feldman, 45. Barry Sanders, 48. Will Ferrell, 49. And today's Burton birthday of the day, former NFL football coach. He's got a name that sounds like two male members. Jimmy Johnson is 73 years young. Today's porno birthday, which is being brought to you by Patricia's Where Fun and Fantasy Meet, is Brandy Alexander. And today's birthday girls handled more sausage than all the workers at a Jimmy Dean factory in 81 fine films, including Kinky Business Volume 2, Horror of the Roses, Caught from Behind, The Sexual Olympics Volume 1 and 2, Camp Beaver Lake, and who could forget her unforgettable role in Sumo Sue and the Fat Ladies of Wrestling.
She won gold in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Brandy Alexander, 52 years old. That's your porno birthday, crappy birthday, and that is your crap on celebrities.
I want every single person listening to go to Helium Comedy Club tonight or tomorrow to go see that guy, Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. You guys
it's
are great.
always great
Awesome,
when
dude.
you come in.
No,
What are we
it's good.
plugging besides the shows?
That's it. I got nothing.
You got everything. Man.
What
This
about
guy's
the
got
podcast, man?
I'm
podcasts
nothing.
Stars of Death.
and
I'm
stars
just
of
happy to see you guys.
and your
Satan.
Twitter page at Mad Flavor.
Are you really in porn, man?
I'm a
He is
music.
pretty, though, isn't he?
Let's see it. Come on.
Listen, the
You look
facial
like
hair.
that. You look like that actor. You look exactly
Which-
like him. Like if you wanted to diet.
Which one? You a porn actor?
No.
Oh,
Really, the best.
say, I promise
he's
you
the
I don't
best
look
white actor living.
Who the
The
hell
guy
are you
that
talking
plays Batman and
about? Christian Bale.
Christian
Oh,
Bale.
Christian Bale.
I've heard that before.
Christian Bale.
I'm
You look like
moonlighting.
Christian Bale
I am
in the
Christian-
movie with the fighter when he was tremendous. He played a crack addict.
Oh my God!
What's his name's
I look
brother?
like
You
a
look
crack
like
addict.
Machinist?
No, he's
No,
talking about.
no. You
he's
don't look
talking
like
about,
you don't look like a crack addict.
that what was
The
that
fighter.
film? Oh, it is the
He was
fighter.
great. He was.
Oh
really
yeah,
good
that was
in
a fighter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I appreciate that, but no, I'm in music, so I don't have the kind of money Christian Bale does.
Go see Joey. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. At Mad Flavor is the Twitter.
Thank you for having me, guys.